Hey guys, I had to push everything back by 10 minutes today. I just had some things I had to take care of. But we are here. So yeah, we'll wait for the usual 5 minutes from the start of the live before I start answering questions. So you guys can put questions in as normal, and I'm going to start from the top up. So we will wait. Let me get set up. Yeah, so we'll start in 5 minutes, guys. I'm going to grab some water as well. Hey guys, yep, yeah, I see the questions are rolling in. I will start at the 5 minute mark. So just hang tight, guys. I will start from the top up. So just leave your questions in there as I set up. Let's see. Yeah, Ryan, the Mizuno bag actually looks quite good. It's really nice bag that they made this year. So yeah, we'll wait. We'll wait 2 more minutes or so. I see a couple questions here. Silent Night, Sab. Yeah, I'm gonna get to those questions shortly. That is a very interesting new trail. Yeah, Mizuno clubs for me, Ryan. Yeah, I'm playing Mizuno woods as well, Quan. So I got the STZ driver, 3 wood, CLK hybrid, and then I got a pretty sick combo set actually. So I got the JPX hot metal 921 hot metal pro in a 4 iron, the 921 forge in a 5 iron, the 921 tour in a 6-7 iron, and then the MP20s and the 8-9 pitch and wedge, and then all with the same shafts, Project X65. And then I got the T20 50 degrees and 54-degree wedges, and then the ES21 58-degree wedges. And I play the Tour issue S400s of those. So I got to play 1 round before they lock things up again here in Ontario. But I did play that one Friday when they announced the lockdown. Very cold, but it was nice to be outside. I mean, it was a little bit. It's definitely colder than what I usually would play in, but it is what it is. First, I mean, with that kind of with so much uncertainties with the lockdown, like I kind of took my opportunity to play, so I went to go play. So it was okay. I mean, it was okay for like 13, 14 shots. In terms of weather wise, let me just get the range up. All right, let's see. Maybe we'll start. All right, let's let's start from the top, guys. So I'm gonna start from the top up. I don't miss questions, so I'm sure I'll get to it eventually. So let's see. Silent Night is asking, "Hey Larry, any suggestions on how to fix a reverse hip tilt in the backswing? Upper body sways away from the target while the lower body moves towards the target." That issue that you're explaining is probably the better. It's actually a better issue to try to work with. I mean, what you're explaining here is your butt is going towards the target, upper body is going away from target. What most amateur golfers actually do is they actually do this, which is actually much worse. So you're actually at least have a smaller issue to deal with. What you have to think about for you as a feel is if you have a line beside your right hip, or let's just say your trail hip, for example. I would just assume you're a right-handed golfer. Let's just say your trail hip. Just feel like you kind of like push into that line. So if you have a line beside your trail hip, push into the line as you turn, and that should keep you more centered. Okay, that's what I would suggest you try to do for a Silent Night, and that should help you fix things. Seb, hey Larry, have you got any drills to ensure a good strike? Chances are, if you're not striking it well, there are some issues with a golf swing you probably have to address as just a general drill to try to help you increase and improve your awareness of how to hit the center of the club face. I would suggest making half swings. And finding the middle of the face will be probably a good place to start. And then once you get a better feel for it, then you can start making 3/4 swings and then full swings, and then go from there, Seb. Moo, why do I hit my driver longer into the wind? Honestly, no idea. I've never heard that before, in all honesty, Moo. I'm really not sure. Can't really help you with that. Hey, Tom. Yeah, the bag is quite sharp, Ryan. The blue and the white colors are quite nice. And really, really good quality bag. Really nice. Okay, Jackson. Hey, Larry, I keep leaving my chip short. I'm not chunking it, but I keep hitting them into the fringe. What should I do? You should probably try to hit it a little bit harder, in all honesty. If you feel like it's tough for you to hit it harder, then I would suggest hitting the one next wedge. So let's just say you're using your lob wedge and you're leaving them short. I would suggest using your sand wedge maybe, or using the gap wedge. Try that first if you're not comfortable hitting it harder. If you are comfortable hitting harder, then maybe you should hit it harder, and whether you put a little bit more speed into the chip, a little bit more pace into it to get the extra few yards to get it onto the green instead of landing it on the fringe. Joe, hey Larry, your thoughts on the Sure Set training? Never heard of the Sure Set training. I'll do maybe I just Google it quickly. I'm assuming you're talking about the training aid. Sure Set training aid. Well, first off, I'm not really a training aid guy anyways. I don't really care for training aids. I don't really know what this is trying to get you to do, in all honesty, but I'm not really a training aid guy, Joe. So I can't really give you my thoughts. It's the first time I've seen it now that I've Googled it. Riley, how would you fix a pull shot from an into out swing path? So if you're swinging into out but you're pulling it, it means your club face is too closed at impact. So you got to figure out why your club face is too closed at impact. Chances are, as a very general rule of thumb, your club face will close too much if your arms are out racing your torso. So what I mean by that is if you are coming from the inside like you say you are, and let me angle this screen back down. So let's just say you're coming from the inside like you say you are, right? Your face will close a lot if your arms outrace the torso. If you keep the arms pinned to your chest and let the torso turn, bring the arms through the shot, then you're probably not going to pull it. So really now it's just really making sure, one, you making sure your arms don't outrace your torso, and two, as a general drill for you to do, you can also try to finish with straight arm finish, and that will also help you slow down the face. Okay, so I would suggest you do those couple of things first. I'm not sure why that ball didn't show up, but maybe I'll fix it. Maybe I'll fix it after this. It's not a big deal for this at the moment. So let's move on. Marcus, my wedge strikes are inconsistent. A lot of times the ball rides up the club face. Is this caused by AOA, bad equipment, old wedges, or something different? Hard to say, really. I mean, it's hard to say. Hard to say. I mean, it's one. If you're sure that the ball is riding up the face, it might mean that old wedges will have less friction. So the less friction there is in the face, the easier it is for the ball to just kind of skid up the face. That could be it. But if you're striking it inconsistent, there's something wrong with your technique as well, right? So I wouldn't blame it solely on old wedges, but just looking at the ball riding up the club face, that could definitely be by old wedges. But without knowing how you swing it, how you chip it, it's definitely hard to pinpoint an exact issue that's causing it. Chris, where does the butt of your club typically point at the top of your backswing? It's not really a reference point I typically talk about with my clients. I'm not really keen on using that part of the club as a reference to the top of your backswing. As long as you see some of the club at the top of the backswing, so that you're not overly hinged. So if you hinge too much, you don't see shaft. If you don't hinge too much, you see shaft at the top, right? So as long as you see shaft, as long as the club points either back or maybe down the line a little bit with the lead wrist flat, trail wrist bent, usually that should make the club be in a pretty decent position, Chris. So that'd probably be the thing I would look at first if I were you. Quan, what's your opinion on PXG irons? My buddy told me I can get their Gen 2 for a good deal. I can have it shipped to him in Cali, then he will bring it back when they reopen the border. I mean, they make nice clubs, Quan. Tough to buy clubs without trying it out first. So unless you've tried it, it's kind of a crapshoot in all honesty. But like they definitely make good clubs. So wholly up to you. The decision is yours, Quan. You're welcome, Jackson. Marcus, I did not skip your question. Actually, I actually just answered your question. I literally every chat I work from the top up, and I literally just answered your question. So you're just gonna have to sit tight and be patient. However these questions populate on the chat is how I go about it. So I have answered your question. So I'm sure you'll get to it. And it sounds like you have. Yeah, it sounds like you hear it. So all good. Chris, is a squat depth what you squat and rotate what controls the low point of the swing? For example, if you don't squat enough, will you thin, or squat too much, will it chuck? No, it's not as black and white as that, Chris. What controls the low point is it's a blend of few things, right? Like where your body is in relationship to forward or back of the ball as you hit, how your legs are pushing up versus how your upper body is rotating through the ball. There's so many different pieces that go into low point control. Is not as black and white as saying if you don't squat enough, you'll thin it. If you squat too much, you'll chunk it. Frank, just want to come by and say hi. Hey, Frank. Yeah, keep sending me the videos, Frank. Swing has been progressing really, really nicely. So keep uploading them so we can keep monitoring it and make sure we have the smoothest possible process as we can. Silent Night, recommend open or square stance for short yardage pitch shots. Square, I prefer square than open. I don't really like people cutting across it too much for most players. I think square stance typically promotes or at least encourages a more square delivery, where you're not swiping across it so much. So when you set up, when you set up, oh, I think my laptop's pretty close today. I gotta get a new stand for this. So anyway, so when you set up to the ball like this, I see a lot of amateur golfers, people who I don't teach, they're very open in their feet. I prefer like pretty square. It may look open because my front foot is actually flared more than my back foot is, but generally it's pretty square. Because when people are so open like this, they have a tendency to really cut across it. Contact becomes pretty inconsistent because they're swiping across it so much. And the direction of your start line is also compromised. For these short wedge shots, typically how you follow through, the direction of your follow through really influences the direction of your start line as well, right? So we want square stance so that when you swing through, you can actually follow through a little bit more square as well. And that will help you start the ball more square at your intended target, okay? So I prefer square, not open. If I had a choice, let's continue. Last question of the day. That was quick today. Alex is asking, what do you think is the ideal amount of D loft with irons? There is no ideal. It really depends on a few things, right? It depends on how fast you're swinging it. Depends on what you want. Like, really, I think for most players, the amount of D loft is not really something you should be worried about. For most amateur golfers, if the ball is flying to your target in a predictable way, that's really, really good. If the ball is doing what you want it to, but you feel like you're adding too much loft, the easiest way to do it is just play stronger. Is just to play stronger lofted irons without changing your swing, without trying to do anything to it. Chasing ideals is very dangerous because everyone has your own set of ideals. So there is really no ideal amount of D loft with irons. Sure, there should be some sort of D loft because the hands are leaning forward a bit at impact, and because we have shaft lean at impact. But there is no ideal. It depends on the player. Depends on what they're trying to do. Depends on what kind of flight they want. June, how do you keep right elbow inside closed seam line? Assuming you're talking about it in the backswing, it's really just making sure that your arms don't outrace your torso turn, right? So when you set up, your elbows and arms are in front of your torso. If you maintain this relationship and make sure things move together, it's very easy to keep things inside the seam line. People struggle with that is because they make their backswing it's too fast, and the arms move independently from the torso turn. And when that happens, the elbow starts creeping behind the rib cage and behind the seam line. That's when people don't have that look of the elbow in front of the seam line. So as long as you maintain what you have it set up and maintain that relationship throughout the backswing, then you're going to be able to maintain that seam line look that you're asking about, Eugene. Andy, does a faster backswing lead to faster downswing? It could. It definitely could. I mean, some different people have different timings that they like. Some people where they increase their backswing speed, they feel like it can help them be more aggressive in the downswing. That's totally cool. Other people, their fast backswing is maybe too fast, and they can't change direction and apply force properly in the downswing, so it actually hurts them. So really depends on the player. Faster backswing could lead to a faster downswing. It's not a guarantee it would, though. Mike, have you found a good way to practice bunker swings inside? I've seen people hit off of a towel. Thoughts? Nah, not really, Mike. In all honesty, you can't really replicate hitting out of sand without hitting in sand, especially inside. Like the face is so open when you're hitting bunker shots. Generally, when the face is so open, it often may launch higher than most people's nets that they have at home, especially if they're hitting indoors. So I don't really suggest trying to simulate practice bunker shots inside. It's just not really the best way to go about it, Mike. Seb, what do you think of George Ganka's swing theory? George is obviously a very, very smart guy. I've never spoken to him. I don't really see his stuff too much. I don't watch his stuff. So, from what I got and what I hear from other people, he's definitely done very well for himself, and he obviously has a very big following. So he's very successful in what he does, and I'm sure he's really really smart. But no real thoughts on his swing theory. Appreciate the kind words, Andy. Silent Night on chip shots with sand wedge, keep face square or slightly open to use a bounce. Both is fine. I mean, it depends on what kind of trajectory you're trying to play. Depends on the style of how you'd like to chip. Both are fine. You can still use a bounce with a square face, because there is bounce. Square face leading edge would still be higher off the ground than the sole of the club would be. So either is fine. Just depends on what you're comfortable with. Depends on your chipping style. Silent Night. Hey John, thanks for saying hi. You're really welcome. Yeah, the progress we've made, John, has definitely really fun to see. Really happy with how things are progressing, and I'm glad you're happy with it, John. So we're gonna continue to make it as good as we can make it, John. Andrew, hey Larry, what swing characteristics do you see from someone with a relatively strong left hand but weak right hand? I wouldn't categorize people's grip to how they swing. Someone with a strong left hand grip, a weak right hand grip could be way over the top. They could also be way from the inside. It's hard to say what one grip preference can lead to in terms of swing characteristics. It really doesn't matter in my opinion. I'm not really too fussy on the grip really, so can't really say, Andrew. Hey Michael, good to see you, Michael. Rory wanted to say, shot my best 9 of 3 over off 15 handicapper. Found value in the Wesley live lessons and reducing his into out path. Have you thought about doing more videos on increasing angle of attack? I have it. So really happy to hear that, Rory, that you're playing better. Shooting 3 over as a 15 handicapper over 9 holes is incredible. So keep doing that. So I have talked about increasing angle of attack in some of my videos, talking about not tilting, not sliding, not tilting back with the upper body, lead shoulder down and around. All that stuff is going to help with the AOA. That being said, though, I think I don't really talk about AOA too much, because I think most amateur golfers don't really need to worry about it too much. I think there's lower hanging fruits to help them with their golf swings and the predictability of their golf shots before even thinking about AOA. That being said, yeah, I'd probably make a couple videos here and there in the near future helping increase AOA, but for the most part, it's not really a game changer for most people. So I don't really talk about it too much. Hey Graham, loving the online academy. We'll upload soon. I'm really happy you're enjoying it. More videos to come, Graham. So keep following the instructions. I've laid out the online academy as best as I can lay it out. There's going to be changes to it. That's not going to affect you, Graham, but I am going to change the format of my online academy for like future clients. So nothing, it won't change you at all. So you just keep doing what you're doing, Graham. Keep following the instruction, and I'm looking forward to seeing your video assignment. Alvin, when practicing the controlled straight arm follow through, how high should the arms be as the club and hands exiting low to the left? At the end of the finish, the arm should go where the body goes, right? A lot of times people excessively lift the arms higher than they need to, which is unnecessary. The straight arm finish is really trying to teach the torso and the arms to stay together. So if the torso and the arms are together, which means the arms is probably stuck to your chest, it should still feel like it's stuck to your chest in your finish. So the arms really shouldn't be that much higher than chest height. I see some people lifting it up higher than their head. That's definitely too high. So around chest height or so, wherever it wants to lead to is probably okay, Alvin. Michael, I'm finding that since I'm using the bounce on my wedge more, I'm not using my lob wedge that much. Maybe I don't need the lob wedge. I'm mostly using my 53 degrees of my 58. Really, honestly, Michael, that's cool. I think now that you're using the bounce better, you just have more options, right? Like if you really need to land something soft, if you need something to fly and land really, really softly and not roll out, 58-degree wedge would be a good option. But for most standard chip shots, like you're finding, using just your 53-degree wedge is totally cool as well, Michael. So nothing wrong with that. Sebastian, hey Larry, can you get golf to open in Ontario? Definitely out of my power, Sebastian. Definitely way outside of my power. So all we can do is hope for the best and do our part, stay healthy and stay safe and see what happens, Sebastian. But I am eagerly waiting to go out in a very safe way whenever it's possible. You're welcome, Rory. John, will you be doing a golf focused fitness series now that your home gym is set up? Would also love to learn more about the mental aspect of golf that you follow. Thanks. I'm not going to do a golf fitness series. I mean, I may do some casual videos just sharing what I do to help myself. I'm not a strength and conditioning coach. I used to have some fitness videos, and it's just people don't watch it, so it's kind of hard to put time into it if there's no views. That being said, I may re-upload them whenever the lockdown's over. I'm probably going to do some videos with my strength and conditioning coach. But for now, I don't really do any. I myself will not film them personally on a professional level. Again, since I'm not a S&C coach, but I will probably film some casual videos off my phone just to kind of share what I do and what I find helps me personally. Not saying it's going to help you, it's just what helps me personally. You're welcome, Alvin. Sebastian, on a serious note, how do you teach someone to add vertical force to their golf swing? I've got too much lateral and some rotation, but I've never been able to produce any vertical. Squat and rotate is probably the easiest way to add vertical to it. You squat and rotate a ton, you squat your ass down to the ground, and then you push up as hard as you can. I think if you doing 180 degree jumps to your, so if I remember correctly, Sebastian, I think you're a right-handed golfer. So doing a 180 degree jump to your left will help you combine the vertical and the rotational and really minimize your horizontal. So trying to feel like you're jumping, combining that 180 degree jump as high as you can in the golf swing would definitely help you increase your vertical forces. Justin, how's the new clubs? I've used it for one round. It was pretty good, actually. I showed up. I hit like five chip shots. I think I hit like 3 8-irons, and then I went to tee off. And actually, so I hit the new driver for the first time on the first hole. Very, very cold. It actually hit a pretty good shot. So I actually hit it pretty good that day, surprisingly, considering how cold it was with no warm up. Ian Fraser, what's up? What an honor to have Ian Fraser in my live chat today. What an honor. Just staying alive, Ian, as I always say, staying alive, staying healthy. Just enjoying life as best as I can. DJ Dave, hey Larry, enjoy the vids. Any plans to get fitted with the boys at TXG this year? Who knows? I mean, they're so busy. They're so backed up right now. I would hate to take spot away from them. So many people are waiting in line right now to get fitted, and I have clubs that work pretty decent right now based off of previous fits. So no rush. If they have time, I'd be happy to go in. But at the same time, I haven't really been practicing. So I would like to actually practice more before I get back into a fit. So we'll see how things go. There's just so much on the go right now that I rather prioritize my time towards than practice. So hopefully one day in the near future, we shall see what happens. Dave, John, I'm looking like Kung Fu Panda with all this quarantine weight. That's funny. Definitely find time to exercise. Hey Ian, congrats on 150K. Will you and Larry and Matt be teaming up soon for fittings? Ian, we gotta do a retrofit for you soon. That's funny. Yeah, literally like 3 guys up was asking about it. Hopefully one day, once I start practicing more, gotta find time to practice, and hopefully that time will come in the near future. Nathan, I'm 5'9" and have long arms. Would I benefit from using a shorter driver? There's only one way to find out, Nathan. Whether you experiment or whether you go get fit, that's the only way to find out. Aaron, Hey Larry, thanks for all the great tips. I was having some trouble with the loop and rotating, but yesterday I tried to slow down and go at about 75% and started to hit every shot dead straight. That's awesome. So a lot of times, if you're struggling with something, you really should try incorporating things at a slower speed, right? 25% speed, then 50% speed, then 75% speed, and then 100% speed eventually. But if you can't do things at half speed, there's zero chance you're going to do it properly at full speed. So it's great that you slowed it down. You did it at 75% speed, staying around 75% speed until you feel more comfortable with it, and then slowly increase the effort to 80%, to 85, to 90, to 95, to 100 would be a much easier way for you to try to own those changes when you eventually get back to 100% speed. Justin, any quick tips for a shallow player? No, not really. I mean, if you are hitting the ball where you wanted to go, and being shallow is really not an issue whatsoever, right? It really depends on how you're hitting it. If you're happy with how you're hitting it, continue being a shallow player. That's a great thing that you're predictable and the ball and you know where the ball is going to go. John, by the way, your lessons with Matt and Ian were so informative. Hope you can share more when you have 3 link up. Yeah, no, I'm glad you find those lessons informative. Matt and Ian make things very easy. All I got to do is just ask them nicely to do something I'm suggesting. But Matt's swinging it great. Ian is swinging it great. Ian is doing great stuff with Scott right now as well. So they're in great spots right now. ES, what wedges do you use? I got 2 different wedges in my bag. So I play 58, 54, and 50 degree. So with my 58 degree, I'm using the Mizuno ES21 wedge. And then for the 54 and 50 degree, I'm using the T20 wedge. Liam, why do I keep fatting when I swing on my heels? So people who typically hit the ground first, they're often pulling their hands down. So you staying in your heels is probably helping you not early extend and helping you not stand up. But because you're not standing up, but you're pulling your hands down, your body is just too low. So you hitting it fat may actually be a good thing. It means something's changing. It means you're standing up less, because chances are, if you're in your toes before, you keep standing up, sure, you may not hit it fat, but really it's a very tough motion to continue stacking on improvements on. You're going to be pretty much capped in terms of how good your swing potentially could be. Butch, great job on your golf instruction channel. Hope it increases in subscribers. Me too. I hope it increases in subscribers as well. I'm sure it will, in all honesty. It's just a matter of time before more people come across this channel and see that what I'm suggesting and what I'm saying is a viable way to think about the golf swing. It's going to come. I'm not going to force it on anyone. It's not my style anyways. I rather people want to come watch the channel and learn because they want to get better. They believe what I have to say. The last thing I want to do is to force people to listen to what I say, because it's not fun for anybody. Not just for YouTube, but for my lessons, for my in-person and online stuff. If they're not digging it, then it's not fun for anybody. So one day that day will come, Butch. But really appreciate you guys all for supporting the channel up to this point. I have no doubt that it's going to become one of the best channels out there one day. Nathan, does weightlifting make a big difference if you have a good swing? Yeah, if you have a good swing already and you think you could be stronger, good weightlifting, good programming will definitely make a big difference. The first time I started like legitimately weightlifting, strength training, doing 5x5s, 5x5, 5 sets of 5, back squats, bench press, deadlift, and then back squat, push press, and rows. Like I was like training legitimately with a good S&C coach after doing what I guess like traditionally people think is golf fitness. You know, I worked with a TPI guy, and it was great for helping me, get active, stay active, working out regularly. But I didn't get stronger. But literally like that winter, and I worked out like that for like 4 years. But like but I figured I kind of needed some change. I wanted to learn more, so I hooked up with my current S&C coach, Ian Warner Sr., who trains a lot of track athletes, football guys, bobsled. So I really wanted to get strong. I wanted to get as explosive as I can. And like that strength training made a huge difference. I went from that first winter, I went from probably like a 165 ball speed guy to a 175 ball speed guy that after that winter. So I fully believe that if you don't weight lift and you have a good swing, I fully believe good programming with a good S&C coach would be very, very beneficial for almost everybody. Aaron, any more online vids with Wesley? I love how you keep pushing 5 more swings, 1 more swing, you have to own it. Yeah, it's tough right now because of of lockdown. For people who don't know, I live in Ontario, Canada, so we're still in lockdown. We can't have people over, so I can't really do any lesson videos, filming wise. So when things open up, when case counts start dropping, I hope to have more lesson videos. But I fully believe people think I'm joking around and like playing around when I push Wesley, like when I push any of my clients. I'm like, oh, 1 more swing, 1 more swing. 10 more swings later, oh, 1 more swing, 1 more swing. You just gotta go harder. You just gotta go harder. Like it sounds so superficial, but like literally once you break through that barrier, you pretty much own it. Like I've seen so many times, regardless of the benchmark. 140 bossy, 150 bossy, 60 bossy, 170, 180, regardless of what benchmark they're trying to break. They're like, let's say they're trying to break 170 ball speed, 168, 169, 168, 168, 169. Once they break 170, literally the next 5 in a row are like 170. Like I think that Wesley video was a great example, Aaron, where as soon as you broke 180, I think the next 15 in a row were all above 180. So literally it's just like trying to push the limit. Get your CNS firing, get your central nervous system firing, just getting pumped up, getting explosive really, really helps. So just pushing yourself, whether it's 5 more swings, 1 more swing for the 20th time, gotta do what you gotta do. And like once you do it once, you know you have it in you, and you can do it again, you can do it again, you can do it again, and you can eventually push for a new high. So I'm a big fan of encouraging people to have it in them. And you can see it too, like sometimes people are just more sluggish. And maybe they're having a tough work day. It might be that week they're having more stress, whether it's from work, from home, whatever it may be. They might just be tired. They just don't have it. But like sometimes you see it, like you can see how they're moving, they're flowing, they look energetic, and you know those days are the days when you can really, really push. So just gotta pick your spots. Yes, when your ball is above your feet, do you lean back to also match shoulders or weight on heels? Depends on the shot. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to feel like it's a little bit leaned back just because your trail foot's lower than your lead foot. So there's definitely gonna be more weight on your heel side, but it's definitely very important for you to push through it, because more often than not, if you stay on your back foot, you're gonna pull a lot of shots. So making sure you push through the shot is gonna be very, very important as well. Let me just give me 1 sec, guys. I just gotta check something, making sure everything is on schedule here. Yep, everything's good. John, do you have any rule of thumb with bounce? Is there a player dependent? Also, do you recommend a safe wedge gapping 4 degrees in between? Yeah, I think 4 degrees is usually pretty good. I mean, most pitch and wedges nowadays maybe 48 degrees or 44 degrees. Sorry, 46 degrees, I should say. So if you have a 46-degree wedge, you go 50, 54, 50 is generally a pretty safe bet. You can customize it. No general rule of thumb for bounce. Player dependent. I think most standard wedges are fine. I think for the better player, having your sand wedge or like your middle wedge, let's say that 54 degree, have a little higher bounce, and then having your 58 degree or your lob wedge have a little lower bounce, just gives them variety, gives them a more extra tool in the toolbox to hit shots. Quan, Larry, are you going to have your own app soon? If so, will you have both iOS and Android version? That's a good question. At this moment, nothing in the immediate future. I'm still trying to fill out my online academy. I'm still trying to like make my online academy complete. It's not complete yet. I'm almost complete. So trying to just kind of make sure my online academy is complete. I have a few different things on the go right now that I can't really say what it is. So once all those things kind of become fruition, then I have more time and mental capacity to then focus my efforts into something else like an app. For now, there is no mental capacity for an app. it would just stretch too much attention away from things that are better suited for me to put my efforts in right now. Alex, how will your dual plates offer more different stats than when you had originally? So the dual plate measures both feet individually. What I had before, which was the force plate, was kind of a total force output. This one now is total force, trail foot, and lead foot. So it measures both feet independently. It's still very new, so it's still trying to like figure out the software and stuff. So a lot of experimenting right now. I'm gonna have to hop on a call with a swing cat guy just to learn more. But there's like some theories and ideas in my head that I want to see quantified, which is why I spent the extra money on a dual plate, because I wanted to see how each leg and each foot was working in relation to the total output. So that should be pretty good. Ross, any ideas while I'm hitting 10 degrees from the inside? All clubs, what drills to neutralize swing? So glad you're enjoying the channel. So most people who are excessively inside out, they're sliding and tilting too much. Okay, Ross. So most players who are excessively inside out, they do this a lot, and their upper body tilts back. So you just gotta do the opposite. You gotta feel like one, you stay on your trail foot instead of going into your lead foot. So you stay on your trail foot as you feel like your lead shoulder goes down and around. I don't want your lead shoulder coming up because you being 10 degrees inside out, your lead shoulder is probably coming up big time. So you have to feel like, I'm going to exaggerate this, you stay on your trail foot as the lead shoulder goes down and around. It may feel like you're like way steep, way over the top compared to what you used to do, but that's the best way to try to neutralize your path at this moment. Quan, since we're all locked down right now, can you show us some body weight workout for golf? I can't, just because again, that's not my expertise, Quan. Like I'm very lucky that I work with a lot of good people in that space. Really good S&C coach, really good athletic therapist. I know what is good for me, but I don't have the technical know-how to tell people what to do. So unfortunately, I can't really show you any good body weight workouts for golf. But honestly, like, I mean, I think working out in general will benefit most people in life and golf. So I wouldn't really get too caught up with working out for golf for most people. Just if you're someone who doesn't work out, just starting to become more active is definitely a huge step in the right direction. Alex, when you get outside, will you do instruction on how to get out of green sand fairway bunkers? I mean, I would like to, Alex. It just depends on the COVID restrictions and the protocols at the club that I'm at, right? So if you can't be there, like, so for instance, for example, like I think a lot of clubs here are saying you can't show up on a range or anything and use their practice facilities until maybe until you're 30 minutes within your tee time. There's just no way for me to set up my cameras, go film, throw my camera back in my car, and then go play. It's just not really fun. It's too rushed. So until they loosen those things a bit, where I can actually spend the day or a few hours on the practice facilities, those green set videos just probably won't come until then. Alrighty, I'm going to answer the last few questions, and then I gotta hop on my next lesson. So yeah, let me answer these last few questions, and I gotta run to my next lesson, and then we'll see you guys again next week. So Juan is asking, what do you think of having a sensation at the top of the swing instead of pulling the handle down, pushing the handle up? Seems to generate some things you teach. If that works well for you, great. I mean, it's very player dependent. I personally have never asked any of my clients to feel like it pushed the handle up. So if it works well for you, Juan, keep doing it. Justin, what's your pre-round routine? Not very good, really. I mean, if you ask my friends, my pre-round routine is zipping into the parking lot, grabbing my clubs from my car, and then running to the first tee with a booster juice in my hand. That would be what your friends, my friends would tell you. it's just like it's been so chaotic the last few years with fitting in lessons and trying to grow my business and grow my brand as big as I can do it. And thankfully, it's gone really according to plan. So playing golf is taking a back seat, which I'm totally fine and happy with. So I don't really go warm up too much these days. I would like to do more. I would like to do more warm up, but at the end of the day, it's just so much on the go right now. So it is what it is. I mean, luckily, I still hit decent shots in the first tee. It's not optimal. I don't suggest it. I mean, if you guys are trying to play better golf, I totally suggest warming up if you can. For me right now, playing better golf isn't the number one priority. Building my business and building my brand and just growing things right now, setting myself up to have more free time to play golf in the near future is my priority at the moment. So a lot of trunk slamming at the moment. Lyndon, any thoughts on how to fix toe first divots? Is that a shallowing angle? Is that shallowing and or spine angle issue? You're probably most people who are very toe down with their divots are probably very steep early in the downswing, and then they stand up and late shallow. I would suggest you try to incorporate the loop that I talked about. So like if you go on my YouTube channel and search in like the loop, you'll find a lot of videos talk about that. That typically helps people level out their lie angles if they're very toe down. With the lie angles and impact, which it sounds like you are if you have very toe down divots. Quan, yeah, hey, honestly, working out's great. You know, workout not just for golf, but for everyday life. You'll feel so much better. I always like tell my friends like healthy body, healthy mind. Um, health is like health is so important. Both physical health and mental health is so important. So definitely put some time into working out, Quan. You will be glad you've done it, and especially like doing it now before you get older. It's much easier to build a base now before trying to build a base when you're older. So totally suggest working out, Quan, if you don't already. Aaron, one more question for pitching and chipping. Should we use the same motions as a full swing? It's a little bit different. A lot of similarities, but it's a little bit different. You're welcome, Sebastian. You're welcome, Aaron. Yeah, you're welcome, Justin. All right, I'm gonna answer Moo Trail, and I'm gonna go. Any weight routines for quicker swing? I feel slow when I bulk up too much. Like it, I would love to help Moo, but like questions like that, it's just too specific. It's tough to say. I don't know. You feel slow, but I don't know if it's a swing issue. Bulking up. If you're bulking up and you're losing range of motion, you may be not doing the best routine in the gym. It might not be the best programming, but such a specific question, I can't help unless I see how you swing. There needs to be more answers. There needs to be more information. So with that, let's call it a day. I got to run to my next lesson, guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in today and asking questions. So let's do this again next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll keep doing this. We'll keep doing this until lockdown lifts, and maybe I'll go play golf on Thursdays. Maybe not, but I'm gonna still try to do these once a week. So it may change, but it may just stay at Thursdays because I do teach quite a bit on Thursdays. So again, thanks everyone for joining in. Let's stay safe, stay healthy. Hopefully everyone stays healthy and stays safe. And then we'll see you guys next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll see you guys there. Thanks, guys.